Okay, Year 7, welcome to your tutorial on working with negative and positive integers. Okay, the first thing that you need to write down is that you need to write down, obviously, a heading, negative and positive, and you need to write down the following. With multiplication and division, if my signs in the equation are the same, the answer will definitely be a positive. If my signs are different, the answer is going to be a negative. And let's have a look at what I exactly mean by that. Okay, let's have a look at my first example. It says 7 plus negative 2. Now you might also see this written as 7 plus negative 2. Now, that looks a bit odd. As soon as you have two signs next to each other, you need to put the second number in brackets. Okay? And if you can think back to the first or second week of Year 7 this year, we learnt that brackets meant multiplication. So I have to multiply my signs. I've got a sign on the outside and a sign on the inside. So it's a positive multiplied by a negative. Now, the positive and the negative are two different signs. And what was my rule? If my signs are different, it's going to be a negative, okay? So I'll rewrite that. 7 plus minus, signs are different, becomes a negative 2, okay? So 7 subtract 2 becomes 5, okay? My signs were different. My answer, or at this point here, it becomes a negative. Let's have a look at a slightly different example, okay? Again, negative 2 plus negative 3, okay? I put the negative 3 in brackets, and that's a positive and a negative, so my signs are going to be different. So it's negative 2 subtract 3, and now I've known with my number plane when I was doing this last lesson, negative 2 subtract 3 becomes negative 5. Let's look at some other examples, okay? This is the opposite end, okay? So it says 1 subtract negative 3, and now I know brackets means multiply. Brackets means multiply. So I've got a negative multiplied by a negative. And if my signs, my rule was, if my signs are the same, it becomes a positive. So this gets rewritten as 1 plus 3, which equals 4. Let's have a look at this other example. Okay, let's have a look at this other example over here. Negative 6 subtract negative 2. The negative 2 I've put in brackets, and I've got a negative multiplied by a negative. Now that negative multiplied by a negative gives me answer of a positive. So I can rewrite that as negative 6 plus 2. Negative 6 plus 2, if I go down the number plane, becomes negative 4. Okay, let's have a look at a few more examples. Okay, with direct multiplication and division, it's exactly the same. Okay, this one here, let's have a look at this. This is a positive 5 multiplied by a negative 6. Positive and a negative, my signs are different with those numbers. Positive 5 multiplied by negative 6 equals negative 30. Okay? This one here, negative 3 multiplied by negative 7. There's a negative and a negative. My signs are the same. My answer becomes a positive 21. This example down here, negative 36 divided by negative 4. Okay, my signs are the same. So my answer is going to be a positive. So I then look at it as positive 36 divided by positive 4 becomes 9. My very last example, negative 18 divided by 9, I've got a negative and I've got a positive, so my answer is going to be a negative. Negative 18 divided by 9 becomes negative 2.